On the road just off of the interstate, past the white lines where the fields roll and the rivers break, you'll find a four-way stop sign, church on the corner and a dairy bar, right in the middle of nowhere. It's the middle of everything I know. The dirt that made me Friday night lights, back road crazies, all those prayers from mama that saved me. I'm grateful the voices that raised me. I owe everything to that hometown, from the front porch view to the red dirt ground. Oh, I'm grateful for the voices that raised me.
And we welcome you to Frank Walters Field here at Moody Park for what is bound to be an incredible day of ECCBL action. I'm Raymond here to bring you all the coverage between the New Brunswick Matrix and the Mercer Mammoths. This is sure to be an incredible classic between two teams that remain amongst the top in the Liberty Division of the ECCBL. With the Mercer Mammoths sitting at a profound record of 19-8 on the top of the Liberty Division, with the Matrix sitting in that 3 seed, 14-12-1 record. As this one is underway, in the first pitch hit out into left center field, coasting over and making that play is Ray Mulhern. And this one has just begun. A doubleheader, so 2 7-inning games. And already one away for the starting pitcher for the Mercer Mammoths. And Nick Garbusian was the first pitch there in the dirt, ball. Defensively for the Mammoths, as that one will find a way into left field. Playing left field, that's Jordan Raba. Center field, Ray Mulhern. And in right, Zanichi Steve. Over on third, it's Brandon Law. Chase Bonner's over at short. Q Williams is playing second. Jack Hughes is over on first, as he usually does, with Adam Clark behind the dish. For the Matrix, the leadoff man who flew out to left center field, that was Chiola. There recording the single with Spinello. Then Rosado, Perna, Inzilla's batting 5th, Wisniewski's batting 6th, batting 7, it's Spadafora, batting 8, Bethay, and batting 9, Di Maria. And that, the lineup today for the New Brunswick Matrix. As it is Rosado at the dish, first pitch strike, second pitch upstairs, ball, and the count's even at 1. Matrix on a 2-game losing streak. Lost back-to-back in what was a Sunday doubleheader against the Trenton Generals. Next pitch called a strike. CJ Wisniewski, for those who are interested, including our PA announcer Jeff over here. Hi, Jeff. How are you doing today? As that one's low and a ball. Count 2-2. It's just me and Jeff in this press box for the first game. Josh will be joining. Joshua Uhas will be joining us for game number 2 of this doubleheader. But for now, it's just me and Jeff and hanging out in the press boxes. That one's lifted again to left center. Ranging over's Ray Mulhern. He's got a beat. He's calling for it, and he's there to make the play to record the second out. So 2 outs, both recorded by Mulhern. So now with 2 away, that'll bring up Colin Perna. The DH today in Perna. He is, or has been, a real great bat. 5 home runs on the season, batting .337, 18 walks, 13 strikeouts. He's a tough out, and that one's looped to right field. On a horse was Zenichi Steve, unable to get that. It drops in, rounding third and heading to the plate is Spinello, as overrunning it was Perna, and now he's stuck in a rundown. Can he find a way out of it? He does, as Q Williams drops the ball. So Perna's in safely at second with a double. Coming around to score on that one, incredibly, was Spinello, and the Matrix strike first. They lead it 1-0. Just as I was saying, how infamous Colin Perna has been this season with 22, now 23 RBIs. An all-around great season it has been for Colin Perna. So that'll bring up Dom and Zilla. As Garbugian will take a step up and call Adam Clark up to the mound to have a quick conversation. Dom and Zilla on the season, batting .250. No home runs. He's got 2 triples and 4 doubles. 12 RBIs, 15 walks on 13 strikeouts, and an on-base percentage of .405. So he finds his way on via the walk. As the first pitch he sees, he fouls off. So the Matrix strike first and lead it 1-0. As this game, the rescheduled one, not just from yesterday, no. This game has been rescheduled now 2 times, but thankfully we are able to play it. So the next one's in there for a called strike, and the count now 0-2 as Garbugian looks to put an end to the inning. The 0-2 from Garbugian. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, got him swinging, and so that will put an end to the inning. But the Matrix are able to not one, they get one, and lead it 1-0. We'll head to the bottom of the first, where we'll get to see this top of the lineup in Mulhern, Raba, and Chase Bonner for the Mammoths when we return here on Jersey Baseball Nation. welcome you back as Ray Mulhern steps into the box. The Mercer Mammoths lineup today. Ray Mulhern's batting 1, Robbo 2, and Chase Bonner 3. Jack Hughes at his usual 4 spot. Q Williams, Brandon Law, Buzz Gresh, Zanichi Steve, and Adam Clark to round out the 9-man lineup, just like the Matrix. For the Matrix, defensively in the field, that one upstairs in the count, 2-0. It's Zach DeMaria out in left, Spinello's in center, and Chiola's out in right. Bethay's at third, Rosada's at short, and Zilla's at second, Wisniewski's over at first, Lou Spadafora behind the dish, and on the mound for the Matrix, Justin Benito. And our umps today, Mike Beal in the field and Dave Perry behind the dish, as Justin Benito looks to work his way back into the count. It's 3-0. Benito on the season, 25 and 2/3 innings pitched. He's got a record of 2-1 in 10 games, 2 starts. He will walk Ray Mulhern on 4 pitches. Has 31 walks, so command has been an area that he has been working on this season. 25 strikeouts, a 1.79 whip, and a 4.56 ERA. So the ERA, not too terrible. He's allowed 13 earned runs, 2 home runs given up this season. So, earned run, not terrible, but the whip and the walk count's not exactly where he would like it to be, as his walk count now up to 32 as Jordan Raba will step up to the bat. First pitch he sees a ball, and you have to think if you're Raba, you got to be taking, you're waiting for Benito to throw a strike. He hasn't yet today. 5 consecutive balls to start off his day. The 1-0, upstairs 2-0, 6 consecutive balls. The 2-0 from Benito as he'll kick and deal. Ball 7 as he tried to take a little bit off that, but not enough to get into the zone. The count now 3-0. And Raba doesn't even look like he's even considered taking the bat off his shoulder. Called strike. Get me over fastball, gets him a strike. And so finally the first ball and the good old Texas A&M chant can come to a conclusion. That one of my more favorite college baseball traditions. The chant following 4, then 5 consecutive balls. Then they chant ball 6, then they chant ball 7. And it keeps going. And
number 8, shortstop.
It goes. As that's a walk. And the count goes to 4 balls, and so Raba gets to take first base. And so now first and second with nobody out. Brings up Chase Bonner. Chase Bonner, the other half of the Bonner brother duo, and his brother Joel. And at the start of the season, the Mammoth coaching staff was excited to see what the Bonner brothers had to bring to the ECCBL in their first season. And Joel Bonner, not in the lineup in this game, but may see him later, may not, as that one's fouled off, has put together a strong season. But Chase Bonner, who's up to bat here, has seemingly one-upped him, batting .426 on the season. 13 walks, 7 Ks, no home runs or triples, but he does have 4 doubles. But he's also produced 14 RBIs. So in a situation like this where you're down 1, nobody out, and a runner on second, this is an opportunity where you want Chase Bonner at the plate. He'll foul that one off again as he continues the battle. So the count 0-2. And Chase Bonner having a strong season and looking to keep it going as this one winds down. Including this one, it's 3 games to go in the season for these two teams, but for many others in the rest of the ECCBL, it's just one, that being Thursday. As foul tipped is what the call is. So staying alive is Chase Bonner. So tomorrow, Thursday, One more game for all of the ECCBL, and then this weekend on Saturday from Quakertown will be the All-Star game, so stay tuned for content coming then. And then next week we'll begin playoffs. As both the Matrix and the Mammoth are pretty comfortably set in a playoff spot, with the Matrix sat 2 games up the Capitals and 1 game up the Generals, and both of those teams would need to find a way to get ahead of the Matrix, although they don't have that many games left to be able to do so, as that's a ball in the counts now 2-2. And of course the Mammoth, they're currently sat 2 games up the Kings, and the Kings have all but just 1 game today and then 1 game tomorrow, so an opportunity potentially for the Kings to get back ahead of the Mammoths. So the Mammoths would just need 1 win and officially clinch the number 1 seed, as that one's fouled off again, and Chase Bonner doing a great job battling. The Mammoth lost their last game, but they're 7-3 in their last 10. The Matrix 4-5-1 in their last 10 games. It's the 2-2 once again. That one's going to be hit to right field, and this one's got a chance up against the wall, but making the catch there, a great job, was Chiola. On his horse, heading for third, was Raymond. He's in there safely. So Chase Bonner does a job and nearly did a really incredible one, as it looked like it could have gone. But he'll get a sac fly.
Number 25, first baseman, Jack Hughes.
And so 1 out, and runners on the corners now for Jack Hughes. And Jack Hughes on the season batting .366. He's got 25 RBIs. Leads the Mercer Mammoths in RBIs. This is an opportunity and a real descriptive reason why he's the 4-hitter and has been all season long. As Rob is going to take off for second. The throw down is going to get into center field. Ray Mulhern will easily jog in and score, as Rob has got himself a stolen bag, and Mulhern will advance on the error throw. And so just like that, this one's all tied up at 1, and still Hughes an opportunity to drive in a run and get that RBI. Of course, he's going to need a little more pop and power and drive one a bit deeper than he would have had to with a runner on third, but still. The chance is still there, and he's going to hit this one hard on the ground to third. Snagging that and getting a good throw to first in time was Bethea to Wisniewski. Bethea the good throw, Wisniewski the great pick, and so now 2 away.
Number 3, second baseman, Q Williams.
Now up will step Q Williams. This Q's another guy that has done a great job with runners on base. Quick checkup on Raba. Q Williams, 14 RBIs. That tied for third on the Mammoths. Even with Chase Bonner and Buzz Gresh. As ahead of him, Raba with 20 RBIs, and of course the aforementioned Jack Hughes with 25. First pitch of ball. Q Williams, one of the all-stars heading to the game this weekend from the Mammoths. So that one will break it to the zone for a called strike, and the count even at 1. Q Williams joining Jack Hughes and Jordan Raba. 2 other names, guys named to the All-Star team. And next pitch just misses, and the count 2-1. Q Williams batting .354 with 16 stolen bags. He's been caught stealing 4 times, so definitely got some great speed. 22 walks, 17 strikeouts. Good ratio there. He definitely has a great eye and impeccable patience at the plate. Rob out there in second now, 9 stolen bags on the season. Has been caught stealing only 2 times. As that ball 4. So Q Williams works himself another walk number 23 on the season, and that'll bring up Brandon Law.
Number 14, third baseman, Brandon Law.
Law's got 3 walks and 11 Ks. But batting .333, 2 doubles and 8 RBIs. So while the walk to strikeout ratio isn't exactly where you'd like to see it, certainly able to produce offensively. Swinging at that one, though. For strike number 1. Law with Buzz Gresh behind him and Zenichi Steve behind that, as we've got 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. 1-1 our score. Called strike, so now 0-2. As Justin Benito is 1 strike away from getting out of this inning. 0-2, 2 outs. And Benito's pitch to Law. Hit hard on the ground to second. Fielded is Inzilla. He gets it over to first, and that will end the inning. So the Mammoths, they answer back and even it up at 1. It'll be the New Brunswick Matrix and Wisniewski, Spadafora, and Bethea due up when we return here on Jersey Baseball Nation. Top 2. And the first pitch, called strike. The next one's hit over to third, on to first for the first out of the inning. So 1 down, and that'll bring up Lou Spadafora.
Number 1, catcher, Lou Spadafora.
Spadafora on the season. Batting .333 with 1 home run, 7 RBIs, 12 walks, 3 Ks. First pitch he sees called strike as Nick Garbusian's back out there dealing, and Garbusian 36 2/3 innings pitched as this one's lifted out to left field. Coasting over is Jordan Raba. He's calling for it. He's catching it for the second out of the inning. Garbusian, 36 2/3 innings pitched. 3.93 ERA with a 1.15 whip. 17 walks, 33 Ks. That's now stepping up Will Bethea. Swinging through that one. And that was his stats coming into today. Of course, those stats now slightly going to be adjusted due to the innings pitched and run given up. But nonetheless, I digress to the fact that Nick Garbusian has pitched a solid season. That one's in the dirt, and the count 2-1. With 2 outs and a 1-1 score here, top 2 from Moody Park. Max Raymond, thanking you for joining us on this Wednesday afternoon. As that one's lifted out to left field, it's trailing into foul territory, but Jordan Raba and his great speed able to get there nonetheless. And so that will be a quick top of the second. We'll head to the bottom of the second, where the Mammoths and New Brunswick's Matrix are all knotted up at 1 here in Jersey Baseball Nation. Bottom 2, and it's Buzz Gresh stepping up to the plate. It'll be Gresh, Zunichi Steve, and Adam Clark due up for the Mercer Mammoths. And Mercer were able to put up a 0 thanks to some solid pitching by Nick Garbusian and great defense from Jordan Raba. Now have the opportunity to take the lead here in the bottom of the second, 1-1. First pitch was in the dirt. Second pitch, called a strike, and so the count even at 1. This one's going to be lifted foul, first base side out of play. That one called a ball in the count 2-2. To Buzz Gresh, who's leading it off here in the bottom of the second for the Mercer Mammoths. This one out into center field, and it'll dunk in for a base hit. So Gresh will lead off the bottom of the second with the line drive single. So now that'll bring up Zunichi Steve. And Zunichi Steve has been having a solid season of his own, with 6 RBIs. Struck out quite a bit, but has also found a way to put bat and ball and produce when his team has needed him. And this is an opportunity for him to find a way to do such production. 1-0 is the first pitch, a ball to Steve. but he's also been a mighty sound defensive player. Finding ways to come up with plays that I did not anticipate he would be able to make come start of season as well. I did not know the kind of caliber player that he is. And defensively, he has proven to be a sound one and a solid one and a reliable one out there in right field for head coach Carabelli and the Mercer Mammoth staff. As they count 2-1, that pitch upstairs to Zenichi Steve as the Mammoths worked walks to get their first two guys up in the bottom of the first, have gotten a base hit, and now heading the count 3-1 as they look to get their first two batters to lead off the bottom of the second inning on base safely. Three and one, the count is Zenichi Steve. And Benito will deal, and that one upstairs, and once again for back-to-back innings, Mercer's got two guys on safely with nobody out.
Number 0, catcher Adam Clark.
Up will now step Adam Clark. Clark batting .444 on the season with a .460 on-base percentage, .489 slugging. That's good for a .949 OPS. What does that mean? He produces offense, and this a real crucial opportunity for him, as if he could come up clutch, Mercer might be able to take the lead. 1-0 the count, or at least advance that runner in Buzz Gresh on second, another 90 feet closer to that leading run. This one chopped to the pitcher's mound. Benito's got it. He'll throw to first and secure one out, and that'll be all he'll be able to get.
Number 1, center fielder Ray Mulhern.
And so now up will step the top of the order in Ray Mulhern, with now one out and runners on second and third. First pitch, a two-seamer, cuts in and upstairs and buzzes the tower a bit of Mulhern. He's able to get out of the way, though, and so count is 1-0. Mulhern and Raba should potentially be the minimum to at least bat this inning. If not, maybe more if either could reach base safely. It's one out and a 2-0 count here in the bottom of the second. Score 1-1. This one will be lifted out into right field. It's actually not even going to get that far. It'll stay in the infield. That one skied straight up and did not carry as the wind blowing from right to left. And so now two away.
Number 2, left fielder Jordan Raba.
So that'll now bring up Jordan Raba with 2 outs. And a potential run scoring opportunity squandered for the Mercer Mammoths. That one's fouled off in the count 0-1. Still got a chance with Raba, who's certainly produced a lot of offense and has produced in the clutch with 20 RBIs. But this a crucial opportunity where execution is needed. And there's a hard ground ball towards second base. It'll get through. One run will score. Zenichi Steve rounding third. The throw to the plate's offline. He will score, and Jordan Raba does it again. A 2-run single for Raba as Mercer takes a 3-1 lead.
Number 8, shortstop Chase Bonner.
So now that'll bring up Chase Bonner as Jordan Raba, his 2 more RBIs, ties him for 7th now in all of the ECCBL with 22. now he'll take off as that throw sails into center field. And he'll get to advance to third. And so now a runner on third for Chase Bonner. So it'll be a stolen base. And then he'll advance to third on the fielding error by Lou Spadafora. The count is 1-0 to Chase Bonner. So in case you were scoring this at home, it's a stolen base and then the error that advances him to second. Swung on and missed, and a big hack there as Chase Bonner was looking to continue to join the damage parade and do it in a hurry. A hot shot back up the middle, and that one will bring home Raba. And so Mercer taking advantage of the mistakes made by the Matrix, as Raba will come in to score, and the Mammoths of Mercer take a 4-1 lead.
Number 25, first baseman, Jack Hughes.
So that'll bring up Jack Hughes once again. As Hughes last time up, grounded out 5-3. First pitch he sees a ball. It's a quick check on Bonner, almost got away. That one will get Jack Hughes, as he's been plunked, and Hughes is no newbie to being hit by a pitch. Second in the ECCBL with now his 11th hit by a pitch. The only guy he's behind, Cole Schulberg. Go figure. Those of you who've been following the ECCBL are probably not all too surprised to hear that. The catcher, first baseman for the Trenton Capitals, leads the ECCBL in hit by pitches. But Jack Hughes is second with now his 11th. And so that'll bring up Q Williams as this inning continues to roll on for Mercer. Up 4-1. And looking for a chance to tack on even more. Is that pitch strike? The count 0-1 to Q Williams. Last time up, worked a walk. That pitch upstairs. And Q Williams currently still tied with Jordan Raba atop the ECCBL with 23 walks now on the season. Coming into today, it was 22, now 23. Is that ball? Great job there by Spadafora to keep it, at the very least, at his feet. But the count is now 2-1. Two-1 with 2 outs and a 4-1 Mercer Mammoths lead over the New Brunswick Matrix. As that'll be in the dirt. The count is now 3-1. 3-1, 2 outs. Runners on second and first. That one called a strike. Q Williams did not think so, but he'll have to hang around in the box at least a little bit longer. And now they count 3-2, and everybody will be released. 3-2, 2 outs. Runners will be taken off on the pitch. Benito deals this one out to left field, foul territory, and it will get to the walking path and out of play. So we'll do it again. Castaneda will come set as the 3-2 once more. Chopped over to short. Fielding it is Rosado over to first. In time. And a great job on both ends as Mercer's able to finally New Brunswick is finally able to put an end to Mercer's run of runs. But the Mammoths tack on 3 and lead at 4-1 as we head to the top of the third here on Jersey Baseball Nation. Top 3. And Mercer leads New Brunswick 4-1.
Leading off for the Matrix, left fielder, number 11, Zach DeMario.
Zach DeMario will lead it off. It'll be DeMario, and then back to the top of the order with Chiola and Spinello for the Matrix. New Brunswick ended last inning knotted at 1, or the top of their batting inning knotted at 1, and all of a sudden come up to bat again, and it's suddenly 4-1. As Garbusian's found himself with some nice run support, and he looks to continue to pound the zone. As that one's fouled off, and the count is now 2-2. Garbusian back out there for another inning of work. At 20 pitches coming into the inning, so real sound 10 pitch per inning pace. Looking to keep that going. That one in the dirt, so it doesn't help his pace as he'll have to throw 6 to this batter alone. But the Matrix have been swinging. Just not been able to really produce many hits. Only 2 hits on the day for the Matrix. That one. Ball 4, and finding his way on base is DeMario for the top of the order now to come up. It'll be Casey Chiola.
Number 16, right fielder, Casey Chiola.
That one called strike, and the count 0-1 to Chiola, who last time up flew out to left center, making that play was Raymond. Next pitch, a ball, as keeping a real keen eye over on DeMario at first base is both Garbusian and Adam Clark. The 1-1 from the Bush. Low, 2-1. The Bush, Nick Garbusian. He'll come set. That one, slow roller over to third. To second for 1, on to first. Unable to make that play and stay on base was Hughes. But a great job there to cut down the lead runner.
Number 20.
So they'll get one.
Joe Spinello.
And taking his place over on first is Chiola, as that'll bring up Joe Spinello, who singled and came around to score on a Colin Perna double back in the first inning. First pitch fouled off. And caught a bit of a piece of Dave Perry, and so taking a quick little jog out to the pitcher's mound is Adam Clark, as Coach Rich Carabelli will talk to Perry and make sure he's all right. So the 0-1 from Garbusian to Spinello. It's a ball. 1-1 is now the count. With one gone here in the top of the third, and the Mercer Mammoths leading the New Brunswick Matrix 4-1. That one bends back beautifully into the strike zone for a strike, and the count now 1-2. As Garbusian hunts for out number 2 of the inning. Smelling blood like a shark, aiming for that K. The 1-2. Held up, did he? No, he did not. Strike 3, swing it. And Garbusian gets his K, and now 2 away. And that'll bring up Julius Rosado.
Number 12, shortstop, Julius Rosado.
Rosado 0 for 1. A first pitch. Low for ball 1. Chiola still hanging around over on first base. It's 2 outs in the top of the third. Mercer leads at 4-1. As Garbusian looks to throw up another 0 on the board and get his hot bats and teammates up to the lineup, as that one just skipped out of his hand a little bit there, and is ball number 2. Sailed on him a bit, and clear and obvious that it did, as he immediately went to his hand. Give a little lick, as some pitchers do, and readjust his grip, and now come back set. 2-0 with 2 outs. As Rosado looks to keep the inning alive. That one left these batters box 3-0. Called strike 3-1. This one over on the right side and foul out of play, and the count is now 3-2 as Garbusian's battled his way back into a full count and is now looking for strike number 3 to end the inning. Can he get it? The Bush comes set, 3-2, 2 outs. He'll kick and deal. Over to left field, broken bat. Rob on his horse, and he'll make the catch on that line drive. And so, Nick Garbusian finds his way through now 3 innings of work. Only 1 run allowed as the Mercer Mammoths will come up to bat in the bottom of the third, and Brandon Law to lead it off when we return here on Jersey Bay. So up will step Brandon Law. Law on the day. 0 for 1. He grounded out to second, back in the first inning. As it's bottom 3. 4-1. Mercer leads it over New Brunswick. The count 2-0 to Brandon Law. As the Mammoths have scored in back-to-back innings and look to make it 3 in a row. Be Law to lead it off. Following him is Buzz Gresh and then Zenichi Steve, who have both reached base safely via the single and a walk respectively in that order, as which they bat. 3-0 the count, as Justin Benito's back out on the mound, and he'll get a strike, but so far has allowed the first 2 batters in every inning, that of the first and second, to reach base safely. And here in the third, as we near the halfway mark of this 7-inning first game of the 2 doubleheader, just looks to break that pattern. That one's looped over to short, trying to get there, but just can't, was Rosado. And so, a single there for Brandon Law. And Buzz Gresh now steps up to the plate with 1 on and nobody out. And what a great name, Buzz Gresh. Buzz Gresh and then Zenichi Steve, 2 of my favorite names in the league. Buzz Gresh, 1 for 1. He had a single back in the second inning and came around to score. Swings through that one. 0-1 the count. Gresh, Steve, and then Adam Clark to round out the order, with Brandon Law safely over at first base and nobody out here in the bottom of the third. 4-1 Mercer leads it. On Jersey Baseball Nation, so glad you can join me, Max Raymond, here for the call, all on my lone self. Josh Uhas will be joining for game number 2, so stay tuned for that. But for now, still much more baseball left to be played. As letting that hang in upstairs for a ball was Gresh, and the count 2-1. Next pitch in the dirt, count 3-1. That one in the dirt once more. And so Buzz Gresh has worked himself a walk. And once again, for the 3rd inning in a row, the first 2 batters to see plate have reached base safely for the Mercer Mammoths.
Number 7, right fielder, Zenichi Steve.
Up steps Zenichi Steve. Reached base safely on a walk. His first at-bat back in the second inning, he walked and then came around to score. And the first pitch he sees here in his second at-bat in the 3rd inning is a ball. As Justin Benito struggled with command today, gets Steve to foul that one off, and so the count even at 1s. Swinging through that one and chasing one in the dirt with Steve, and the count is now 1-2. To Zenichi Steve, number 7, playing right field, so the number 9 position. And that's kind of been his home all season long, has been that right field spot. We've seen some guys get moved around. Jordan Raba is a guy who's played some shortstop and some center and some left. And we've seen some Some other guys get kind of bounced around, but Zanichi Steve, one of those guys who's played right field, and that's been his home. So the count's 2-2. With 2 on and nobody out. And Steve will swing through that one, first strike number 3. And so 1 away, and that'll bring up Adam Clark, the 9-hitter.
Number 0, catcher Adam Clark.
First pitch to Adam Clark is in the dirt for a ball, and Clark grounded out 1-3. As Mercer eventually did get around to scoring those runs as that ball was upstairs for a ball. Back in the second inning, Gresh singled, Steve walked, Clark grounded out, that advanced them the second and third. Mulhern popped out, but then Robbo was able to get a single that scored a couple. He stole a bag, reached third on an error, and Chase Bonner scored him, so 3 runs, all with 2 outs in the inning, and that's what Mercer does. Throughout this season, and especially as of the last few games, they've really found a way to produce runs with 2 outs in the inning. Now, unfortunately for those who are fans, it gets mightily annoying when they've got runners in scoring position and it takes till 2 outs for them to finally produce that one hit that they needed for the last 3 batters. But they won't have to. That one out to right field and making the play there was Joyce Spinello to record the second out of the inning. And so once again, with 2 outs, can Mercer put together another rally? It's Ray Mulhern, who walked in the first inning and came around to score the first run of the day for Mercer, and then popped out to the second baseman. In the dirt, and a great job there by Spadafora to keep it close enough to hold Brandon Law over at second base. It's Law on second, it's Gresh on first. It's 2 outs in the bottom of the third, and Mercer leads it 4-1 as Benito looks to find a way to get that third out and finally put up a 0 of his own to match the 2 that Garbusian has put up for the Mammoths. But that one will find its way into center field, and so getting held up was Law. An intriguing decision there, but Mulhern's got himself a single, his first base hit of the day, second time reaching base safely on the day. So now that'll bring up Jordan Raba. And Raba, coming into today, was tied for 8th. He's now tied for 7th in all of the ECCBL in RBIs and has a chance to move all the way up to 6th or even 5th or even 4th, depending on the amount of runners that he can drive in. First pitch almost got him, but didn't, so ball 1. Two outs and the bases are loaded here in the bottom of the third. 4-1 Mercer leads New Brunswick. As Benito will deal in that one. Also a ball and the count 2-0. The 2-0. Low 3-0. As you can see, Buzz Gresh over at second base signaling to Raba. I'm curious if that's location or pitch. Not sure. PA announcer Jeff thinks to just let him hit and do his thing. And Raba's done a really solid job this season, so I don't see why not. He's taken all the way on that one, no surprise, with a 3-0 count and having walked already once today. It's called strike, so 3-1. And while it was a pretty good-looking pitch to hit, if you're Jordan Raba, any pitch you can get your bat on is a good pitch to hit as he fights that one. And now the count has worked itself full. So 3-2, 2 outs and the bases loaded. Benito, one strike away from his first 0 on the scoreboard for today. However, if Raba can reach base safely, it'll be a third consecutive inning where the Mercer Mammoths have scored a run. 3-2, 2 outs. Bottom third. Benito will deal. Ball 4. Raba's got himself another RBI. Mercer's got themselves another run, and it's 5-1. As Jordan Raba looks to keep tabs with Q Williams and now has put himself in sole possession of first place in the ECCBL with walks, with 24. And no surprise with the kind of caliber of a hitter he is. Raba's OBP coming into today was 462, and his counterpart he was tied with in Q Williams, 505. Raba's reached base safely in all 3 of his at-bats so far today, so that OBP is definitely sailed up to close to, if not over, that 500 mark. As Chase Bonner fouling off that first pitch. Chase Bonner on the day flew out to right and then singled back in the second inning. Here in the third inning, 3 innings and now 3 at-bats. Same for Mulhern and Raba. 3 of them have batted in every inning. And if he can get on base, Jack Hughes will have a chance to do the same. The 0-1, 1-1. Mulhern, Raba, Bonner, Hughes, and Q Williams. The 5 of them have batted in so far 2 innings, with Mulhern, Raba, and now Bonner having batted in all 3 innings of play so far today for Mercer. So that one upstairs in the count 2-1 to Chase Bonner, as Mercer leads it 5-1 here in the bottom of the third. And Justin Benito has been struggling quite a mighty bit with command, as this one's going to get lifted shallow left field. Calling for it and getting there and making the play was DiMaria. And so they'll put an end finally to the inning. But for the Mammoths, they were able to get a run on 2 hits and no errors. They leave the bases loaded and will head to the top of the 4th. Mercer up 5-1. Up will step Colin Perna. As Nick Garbusian's back out for another inning of work and already got himself a strike. It's Perna, Dom Manzilla, and C.J. Wisniewski, the three minimum batters to see the plate. It's the count now. That one was fouled off, and the count 0-2. Garbusian deals a ball, 1-2. Strike three, got him looking. So one now away in the inning as Nick Garbusian continues to roll. Pitch count up to 44 pitches and looking pretty good as he's got Colin Perna, Dom Manzilla now up to bat. Manzilla and Wisniewski. As that strikeout number 3 on the day for Garbusian. Called strike and the count 1-1. In the dirt. So Garbusian will deal, and that ball 4. So Manzilla's worked himself a walk, and now one aboard for C.J. Wisniewski.
Number 4, first baseman C.J. Wisniewski.
Wisniewski on the day. One at bat, grounded out to third. First pitch he sees in his at bat, number 2 called a strike. So Nick Garbusian's done a nice job dealing today and staying efficient as the ice cream truck shows up. That one looped in between the gap between shortstop and the third baseman for a base hit. And so now 2 aboard as New Brunswick looks to get something going and find a response to the 3-inning run streak that Mercer's had. 2 aboard with 1 out, and that'll bring up Lou Spadafora, who was also 0 for 1 on the day. He flew out to left field back in the second inning. First pitch off the plate for a ball. 1-0. Next pitch in there for a strike. And the count 1-1. With 2 on and nobody out here in the top of the 4th, Mercer leads New Brunswick 5-1. One fouled straight back. So the count is now 1-2. Garbusian hunting for strikeout number 4 of the day. The 1-2. In the dirt, 2-2. Fouled off, and so see another 2-2 pitch. Will loose Spadafora. With 1 out, you're in the top of the 4th. In the dirt, kicks away, taken off for second, and heading to third. And in there just safely was Wisniewski. This will be a pass ball. And the count is now loaded, as Adam Clark was not able to keep that one in the dirt close enough to hold the runners. So the 3-2. Fouled off, and staying alive is Lou Spadafora. The 3-2. This one lifted shallow center field. Ray Mulhern coming on, makes the catch, bluffing. The tag was Zilla. So now 2 away with 2 runners in scoring position and a chance for Garbusian to work himself out of the inning. But of course, he's got to find a way to put away Will Bethea. Will Bethea flew out to Raba out in left field. Back in the 2nd inning. And this one back out to Raba once more. He's coasting over, and it's off the wall. 1 run scores, 2 runs will score, as Raba didn't think it would stay in the ballpark. It did. And Will Bethea's got himself a 2 RBI double. As Zilla and Wisniewski score.
11, left fielder, Zach DeMario.
And New Brunswick have got themselves 2 more runs. And now only trail by 2 as they cut the deficit in half. As sauntering out there to have a chat, and it looks like Jordan Raba's walking in. So we're going to go to a break. When we return, New Brunswick are looking to tack on a couple of more and cut the deficit down even further here on Jersey Baseball Nation. So welcome back to Frank Walters Field here at Moody Park. As we are finally returning to action, as this game has just witnessed all sorts of commotion and conversation continues. In summary, Jordan Raba was injured out in left field. He came out of the game, and the Mercer Mammoths made a substitution, moving the DH Buzz Gresham to left and moving then still pitcher Nick Garbusian to the number 2 spot as the pitcher in replace of Jordan Raba. Subsequently, following this change, head coach of the Matrix protested that move, stating that the move was wrong. So home plate umpire Dave Perry, after a conversation with both coaches, proceeded to walk upstairs to me, in which the two of us went on my computer here, where this game is being streamed off of, and looked up the NCAA rulings. And we found that it says under the NCAA rulebooks that if more than one substitution is made, the coach must designate their positions in the batting order at the time. It also states that the former DH, who is now a defensive player, must continue to bat in the original spot. The pitcher must bat in the lineup spot of the removed defensive player. Exactly what the Mercer Mammoths did. And so now that all of this has been resolved, eventually I believe we will get to resume baseball. You'd have to think, Jeff, right? As he shakes his head at me, and we are both found dumbfounded by the events that have transpired, as this could all just simply be collusion to ice Nick Garbusian. Could it be a secret plot to ice the Mercer Mammoths pitcher? As further conversations continue with head coach Rich Carabelli and Nick Samaras, as it is just trying to figure out what's going on. Trying to figure it out. We believe that we have settled all that is to be decided, or at least it feels and seems that way, as baseball will eventually resume action. For those who are joining us, top 4, Mercer leads New Brunswick 5-3. New Brunswick just put up 2 runs on a double from Will Buffet. And now Carabelli and Matrix head coach are getting into a shouting match. The two of them are now directly yelling at each other. Glenn Fredericks and Carabelli yelling from across the diamond. As now it seems we're going to get another substitution. So in order to resolve all of this, the change is not going to be Buzz Gresh into left. Looks like Carabelli's going to go with a different guy in left field to replace Raba, as that is not Buzz Gresh rocking out to left, and I don't see Buzz Gresh out in the field as Carabelli and Fredericks continue to yell at each other. Hearing reports it was a back injury. Raba said he tweaked his back. Okay, so it sounds like
So 26 coming into play left.
it'll be number 26 heading into left. So it'd be A.J. Madalena will now play left field. He'll bat second. Buzz Gresh will remain the DH. and Garbusian will remain the pitcher in the DH spot of Gresh, as A.J. Madalena will now take over in left field. So the Mercer Mammoths did their changes correctly. However, under the pressure of the protest, decide to take the high road and just simply choose to concede and move a different guy that isn't their DH into left field. As that one hits the dirt, kicks away, advancing to third on the pass ball was Will Bethea.
He'll be batting in the second spot in the order. Number 26, A.J. Madalena.
This one's grounded over to third, and it gets through, and a run will score. So give them a single for Mario, as Bethea will score, and it's now 5-4 Mercer. And the first pitch hit out to Madalena in left field as this one's going to get over the wall. And just like that, New Brunswick takes the lead right back. It's now 6-5. As just like that, out of nowhere,
Number 23, center fielder.
a big fly from Chiola, and so now Spinello will step up, and all of a sudden, New Brunswick leads Mercer 6-5. As that first pitch over the head of Spinello, next pitch gets him swinging, so 1-1 is the count. Next one in there for a strike, and the count 1-2. This one looped in the left field, and it'll dunk in right in front of A.J. Madalena. So another single as the hits keep pouring in. Spinello's now aboard with 2 away, and that'll bring up Rosado, who's 0 for 2 on the day so far. 6-5, New Brunswick now leads it.
Number 12, shortstop Julius Rosado.
Called strike. First pitch to Rosado. 0-1. That ball kicks away, and rounding second, heading to third was Joey Spinella. He goes first to third on the pass ball. And so now the count is 2-1 with another runner in scoring position. Called a strike in the count 2-2 as Carbusian looks to end the inning. This one looped to second. Q Williams can't get there as another run will score. And now New Brunswick leads it 7-5 as a 4-run, 2-out rally.
The DH, Colin Perna.
And that'll bring up Colin Perna. One's in there for a strike. 0-1 is now the count. And that will be strike number 3 to finally put an end to the inning. In the inning, the Matrix take the lead. And so we'll head to the bottom of the 4th. 7-5, New Brunswick leads it here on Jersey Baseball Nation. Bottom 4, where we pick this one back up with Jack Hughes at the plate. First pitch called strike. Hughes got hit by a pitch once again. So he'll reach base safely, and that'll now bring up Q Williams.
Q Williams.
the ground over to short. Second for one on a first. Double play. Give it a good old 6-4-3 DP. And now 2 away in the inning.
14, Brandon Law.
For Brandon Law. This ball will reach foul. Count 1-2. As that one called strike 3. And we'll put an end to the inning. We'll head to the top of the 5th.
For the Mammoths,
Still
there were
7-5
no hits, there were no
here
errors, and
on Jersey
1
Baseball
left.
Nation.
After 4, the Matrix.
Top of the 5th, we're now in it as a quick out recorded there. As the new pitcher in the game,
Now pitching from the Mammoths, number 37, Will Heyman.
Will Heyman.
Number 4, first baseman, C.J. Wisniewski.
As Heyman records an out, and so now 1 away. As joining me eventually on this broadcast gloriously will be Joshua Uhas, who has now showed up and missed all the fun, man. You missed out on all the excitement, all the chaos, and all the drama, as things have now been sorted out. And New Brunswick lead it 7-5 as that one's called a strike. Or excuse me, call strike, and then a ball. And that one now on the ground. Over to third, it's Brandon Law. He'll get it over to Hughes at first for out number 2. So, I believe I've given you a sufficient rundown of what has happened as we get your mic now situated. Joshua, you there?
Should be there, I think.
I got you. You're there. So, welcome to the call. As I believe I have given you the full rundown of what has happened. What is your take on the protest?
Well, certainly, certainly I missed quite an interesting section while I was managing orders.
Ooh, gets plunked was Spadafora. Excuse me. Yeah, that was Spadafora. I was right.
Yeah, it seems like quite the chaotic scenes, and I mean, it seems like it started with an unfortunate thing.
Yeah, Jordan Raba got hurt.
Third baseman Will Bethea.
We heard, it is not confirmed, but to the recent reports we have received, he just tweaked his back a little and has been stretching out in the dugout.
So that's good to hear, at least. But I guess it was a lot of chaos just in terms of pitcher and DH, which is always a very complicated situation to solve in such a short notice. Is the pitcher and DH situations, because you always got to figure out, all right, who's going where, who ended up at what spot, are you allowed to do this, and then it gets in like kind of a chaotic mess where nobody really can get on the same page. But I mean, we're going now, and as I've gotten here, you know, some good baseball going on. I mean, 6 runs scored in the top of the 4th, just from what I can see jumping in here.
2-2 is the count. As that one will get fouled off with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. 7-5. New Brunswick now leads it. They've got the lead back. They led it in the top of the 1st before giving up a run. And then Mercer scored 3 straight innings of runs unanswered before then the 6-run top of the 4th. As the count's now worked itself full, and Will Heyman pitching to Will Bethea.
It's a battle of will.
The battle of Wit and Will, as this one swung on and missed, strike 3, and that'll do it in the inning. So we'll head to the bottom of the 5th, where Mercer will come to bat trailing 2 here on Jersey Baseball Nation. the DH, Buzz Gresh, to lead it off here as we return in the bottom of the fifth. No, he's saying that the DH can't come in unless the pitcher also gets subbed.
That's what I'm saying.
Where
The
is that?
change, to change the left fielder, you would also have to change the pitcher.
Yes, is what he's saying, which I don't think he's
That
right
doesn't make any.
about.
I mean, of all the days for him not to be here.
Talking. And so Buzz Gresh works another walk. And so he's back on base safely.
Number 7, right fielder, Zanichi, Steve.
And so now up will step Zanichi Steve. So a leadoff runner on base for another inning for the Mammoth. As that'll bring up Zanichi Steve. First pitch called strike, and Steve on the day. 0 for 1, he worked a walk and came around to score back in the second inning. In the third, he struck out. And now he's going to put one over on the shortstop side of the infield and beat it out for a base hit.
And that one was just kind of hit high on the ground. Took a high, kind of Moody style hop where it gets up, and by the time it got over to the third base shortstop side, it got past Bethea. And then Rosado, really, by the time he can get to it, really was never going to have a chance. And the Mammoths have already set themselves up well to respond and try and get any of these runs back with nobody down.
As back-to-back strikes right there for Colin Perna, who's now on the bump. One and two is now the count. At one. Way outside, and the count has now run itself full. 3-2, nobody out, 2 runners on. That one called strike 3, got him looking. So Adam Clark is now out once again. 0 for 3 on the day, and so that'll bring up Ray Mulhern, who's 1 for 2 with a walk, a run scored, pop out to second, and a single.
That was just a great pitch overall from Colin Perna, and the exact time that he needed. That at bat was starting to get away from him, and he's able to find that outside part of the zone, gets the called strike, and keeps the ball out of play. So one down, and they did turn to double play just the last inning that they were out there. So you'd have to feel good for Perna to get that first out, puts you in a helpful position to try and weasel your way out.
First pitch, swing and a miss from Ray Mulhern. Next pitch, ball, count 1-1. will come set. He'll kick and deal. Ball 2. Colin Perna on the season for the Matrix has been one of their more prolific arms. He's got a save and 2 opportunities. He's got 8 games played, 4 games started. A 1-3 record. It's that one. Gets away in the count now 3-1. He's got a 7.58 ERA, a 1.47 WHIP, but has seemingly played in almost every single game here at Moody Park, or at least pitched every day. And while he's been a more stronger hitter than he has been pitcher, he has found his way to make an impact on every single game that they play, especially here at Moody Park. So that one drops in there for a called strike, and the count is now full at 3-2 for the second batter in a row. And that's ball 4, and now the bases are loaded. And now up will step A.J. Madalena.
Number 26, left fielder, A.J. Madalena.
He was really solid in that last doubleheader. And talking with Coach Rich Carabelli, he kind of recognized that because they ended up having to put him out there and right because Zenichi Steve wasn't feeling too great after doing a lot of running because he had a couple doubles and then he'd come around to score. So he was pretty gassed and then ended up getting pulled. Madalena came out from the bullpen, came out to the outfield. And Madalena did hit in high school. He was a two-way, was an outfielder there. So he had reps, but really he had not hit for at least a year because he did not hit at Rowan when he was in college. So he did a good job of making a good impression, got a couple of base hits that were fairly well hit. So he's certainly not someone to take lightly in the box, and he showed that he's been able to adjust really quickly despite what could have been a little bit of rust.
Madalena, who's now seen the count work itself to 3-1. On the season, a .667 batting average. 3 at-bats, 3 plate appearances. He's got 2 hits and 3 RBIs. And this a chance to tack on even more hits and RBIs. 3-1 the count. And he takes ball 4 and has worked himself a walk. And so 1 out still, and the Mercer Mammoths have added another run and now have a chance to put up more. And here comes Chase Bonner. And before he steps in the box, gets some words of wisdom from Buzz Gresh, who has done a great job batting today. And so here's Chase Bonner, a guy who is 1 for 3, flew out to right, singled and flew out to left. And this one's going to get lifted out to left center field and could be trouble. It's carrying and going to find a gap and get down. Here comes all 3 runners as Chase Bonner coasts into second base with a 3-run double for Mercer, who now leads it 9-7.
The Mammoths always find a way to respond, and that's the exact bat you wanted at the plate there. Chase Bonner has been stellar in the 14 games up to this point. He was coming into today hitting .426, a .550 on base, a .511 slug. He had an over 1,000 OPS, and when we see him here at Moody Park, it seems like every at-bat he was being disciplined, finding hard contact, and there did just that. He clears the bases, and the Mammoths take the 2-run lead.
Jack Hughes puts this one in play. And a great job there by Rosado to wisely throw to third and was able to cut down Chase Bonner. So Hughes reaches on the fielder's choice.
Number 3, second baseman, Q Williams.
And so now 2 outs and a runner on first for Q Williams. As Rosado did a great job keeping that ball in the infield. And instead of trying to fire it to first, which probably would have resulted in a potential error, or eat it, he found a way to get an out of what was a tricky and sticky situation. So now that'll bring up Q Williams. He fouls that first pitch off. Q Williams on the day is 0 for 2. He has walked, grounded 6-3, and then grounded into a double play. So yet to elevate the ball out of the infield, and this is a situation where Perna would happily get a ground ball, as that could end the inning. So 9-7, Mercer now leads it. They've taken the lead right back. That one called a strike, and now the count is 1-2. Bottom 5, we play 7, so 6 more outs for New Brunswick to play with to come, as they look to once again have to even this one up and regain the lead, as down looking was Q Williams. So in the inning, 4 runs on 2 hits, no errors. We'll head to the top of the 6th here on Jersey Baseball Nation. Top 6, leading off for the Matrix, it's the left fielder, Zach DeMario. So DeMario, 9, and then back to the top of the lineup with Chiola and Spinella. That's a ball, and then a called strike, and the count even at 1-1. Here in the top of the 6th, where Mercer leads New Brunswick 9-7. And that one's going to find a gap and into right field. As a leadoff single there for DeMario. And so now that'll bring up the top of the order in Casey Chiola. Casey Chiola, Spinello, Rosado. Chiola, 1 for 3 on the day. Hasn't batted since the 4th inning. Flew out to center field, right center, then grounded to a fielder's choice, and then homered. As that ball gets away, and DeMario will take off on the wild pitch. As
Warning.
Dave Perry will now issue warnings to each team. Glenn Fredericks confused why he got a warning, but
Heyman's laughing as well because Heyman didn't.
He didn't mean
He didn't mean
it.
it.
But at this point in the way that this game's going, with Hughes having been hit by a pitch a couple times and a couple of pitches going over some batters' heads.
Although Hughes has been a ball magnet, so I don't know if you could really hold that on him either, really.
And
I mean, I do get there was a lot of intense emotion, so maybe you want to settle the game down if you're the umpires, even though it's not.
I totally get Dave Perry and understand his decision to do that. You gotta calm down and do what you can as an umpire to take command of the situation, as that one's a called strike. But Heyman was laughing. He found it funny, as he did not mean to do that. And Glenn Fredericks, Matrix's head coach, was really dumbfounded and felt that his team should not have deserved the warning. Although it feels like in modern-day baseball across all leagues and levels, when a warning is issued, it's issued to both teams at the simultaneous time. As that one's going to get lifted to Madalena in left, he'll coast over and make the catch for the first out.
Yeah, it's always an interesting situation when there's warnings, especially in a league like this, because it's not necessarily like the highest stakes. Now there are stakes to them, but it's not like a league where your record you keep going and going and going. The Mammoths already clinched the division. It's not like super crazy high stakes and everything, but still, obviously, every game matters, and every game everyone's trying to do their best because all these guys have different programs they're running, different developments that they want to find. So it's not that everyone isn't trying, but it's not like that style of tension is something that we're going to really see here.
Joey Spinello, 2 for 3 on the day as he steps back into the box. 2-0 is the count. And the Matrix, are locked into third no matter what. And Mercer is also locked into the 1. So this game is just simply for the reps and for fun, as the count is 2-1.
Yes, because the Kings officially mercy ruled the Generals. That game went official through 7. The Kings won 11-0, and that's what basically confirms because the Generals were chasing them.
That ball's going to find a gap in the left field. Coming around and scoring was DeMario, is on his way to second. With the double is Spinello. He's now 3 for 4 on the day.
That was really well hit down that left field line, and really nothing that anyone on the Mammoths could do. It was well hit down the line. DeMario, easy for him to come around to score, and we're now seeing these teams just go back and forth. And a runner in scoring position, the Matrix are threatening to tie it right back up after the Mammoths put up a 4 spot.
Back and forth we go. How this one will end, you'll have to find out to know. It's the first pitch called strike to Rosado. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Is Julius Rosado. He flew out, lined out, and then singled. And this one's going to be lifted pretty well to Madalena on his horse, looking up. You can see it and watch it fly. Esa pelota se fue. And the Matrix have taken right back the lead. They now lead it 10-9.
Giving us a little bit of a preview for the home run derby. Julius Rosado sends that one over the left field wall, and just as quickly as the Mammoths took advantage, the Matrix take it right back. A lot of hits, a lot of runs. I mean, 10 runs now for the Matrix after that home run. 9 for the Mammoths, 11 hits and 7 hits. 18 hits, 19 runs is quite an offensive explosion here between these two sides.
An incredible game it has been. 10-9, and now the pitcher Colin Perna will come up to bat. As that ball skips in the dirt, and nobody on, so it does no harm.
And on Saturday, you'll see a little bit more of that kind of style from Julius Rosado, because in Quakerstown on 25th, we'll see him out there in the home run derby, slugging some balls for the Matrix, representing them out there.
2-0 the count. Top 6, 10-9 now New Brunswick leads Mercer. Swinging through that one in the count, 2-1. Heyman will deal, and this one will be lifted down the right side of the field, but will get fouled. So the count now 2-2 as Will Heyman hunts down for that second out of the inning. Swung on it, missed strike 3, and he gets the second out. And so now with 2 away, it'll bring up Dominzilla, who's 0 for 2. And I don't know what it is about Dominzilla, but he just doesn't seem to play well whenever I'm broadcasting.
Really,
or
at
it feels
Moody.
like at Moody Park. Yeah, it just in general, it just feels like this is a ballpark where offensively he just doesn't bat all too well. So the first pitch is a strike to Enzilla. The count 0-1.
And he's been a productive player across the season. I mean, he has 4 doubles. He has 2 triples, 12 RBIs. He's walked 15 times.
Just not at Moody Park. It just, the production isn't there. We almost saw him have a golden sombrero, 4 strikeouts in a single game here in Moody Park a couple of weeks ago. So, or about a month ago, I believe it was. So, I think America was still 249 years old at the time. I believe. To give the amount of time it's been, but Matrix haven't played many games here, and in the games they have where Dominzilla's in the lineup, he just doesn't produce as much as he normally does. As this one's lifted to center field. Ray Mulhern's got a read on it. He's there, and he'll make the catch to put an end to the inning. So in the inning, 3 runs on 3 hits and no errors, and we'll head to the bottom of the 6th with New Brunswick now leading the Mercer Mammoths 10-9 here on Baseball Nation. Welcome back to Jersey Baseball Nation, as that one's immediately looped into left center, or into left field for a base hit for Brandon Law. Stay hot, kid. He's now 2 for 4 on the day. As we were just talking about some King's Pizza, and you should go and get yourself some King's Pizza like me and Josh will following this game. And when we come back in game 2, be Josh on play-by-play with me on color. But for now, I'm Max Raymond alongside Joshua Uhas, who thankfully was able to arrive following all the bizarre crazinesses. Buzz Gresh will ground that one over to third. To second for 1, on to first. Double play.
Just really smooth fielding. I mean, even when I was walking in, I was walking down the pathway, and that's when they turned the double play that they made just 2 innings ago. And then once again, the infield working strong and just really smooth. There wasn't a break in that moment. It's 1, 2, 3, just right to each part in the field, and that's exactly how you have to do it. It's a good job from the Matrix here.
But Mercer, we've seen them produce with 2 outs. Can they do it again here? 0-1 count to Zanichi Steve. Gonna wave at that one. Strike 2. As Colin Perna is hunting down a quick inning. Looking to throw up a 0 and get through this game. 0-2, 2 outs. Strike 3, got him looking. And so we'll head to the top of the 7th. A quick 1, 2, 3 for Mercer. And now they'll have to survive another inning of Matrix bats before they get a chance and their last licks to tie this one up. Top 7 when we return here on Jersey Baseball Nation. TJ Wisniewski up to bat as New Brunswick will try to tack on a couple of more insurance runs. They lead it 10-9 here in the top of the 7th in what could potentially be the final inning. Should Mercer tie it up in the bottom of the 7th, we will see at very most 2 more innings as the ECCBL caps it at 9 in a 7-inning game or 10 in a 9-inning game. As this one in foul territory, Hughes will make the catch to record the first out of the inning. 1 gone, and that'll bring up Lou Spadafora, who's 0 for 2 on the day. And who's done a really nice job behind the dish, keeping the ball in front of him and limiting the damage and mistakes and opportunities for Mercer, although he did throw a couple of balls out into center field. So that one in there for a called strike, and the count 1-1 with 1 out. And number 1, Lou Spadafora at bat. That'll be a ball, and the count 2-1, and we'll break up our ones. Swinging through that one, and the count now even at 2s once again. So even at 1s and even at 2s.
It was a good pitch as well. Got him to chase and sets himself up with a 2-strike count.
That one's going to get lifted out to left field. Madalena on his horse, and that one will get off the wall. Spadafora coasts in the second base with a double. And for a moment there, I actually thought it went over. The white of the sign, the ball blended in. And so to me, I thought it got over that sign, but Madalena was able to pick it up. So Spadafora has got himself a double. And with 1 out, 1 on, and Matrix, New Brunswick have a real opportunity to get that insurance run.
And even though the seeding is set, this still can mean a lot because you're trying to learn how to beat these teams, how to play against them. And the Mammoths are the top seed. If you're going to run through the Liberty Division, you're most likely going to run through them.
Popped up, and Adam Clark will make that catch. And never dropped his helmet, and really did that in a very, as the kids would say, nonchalant way. No, very nonchalant.
Just didn't need to, just hold on to it.
Just hold on to it. Just very, very casual, like Posada catching.
It's all right, guys. I got this. I don't need to toss it.
I don't need to toss it. I don't need to call out to my teammates saying I've got it. I don't need to make a face to the broadcasters like I have an idea of where the ball is. I'm just gonna catch it. That one in the dirt, and the count 1-1 to Zach DeMario. DeMario, last time up, singled. He's 2 for 2 on the day with a walk, a single, and a single. And he scored 2 runs. He's yet to get out. But with 2 strikes against and 2 outs, this could be the moment. Will Heyman hunting that final out. Doesn't get it on that pitch as it's a ball.
It's a good hold from DeMario, just not chasing outside the zone. You want to give yourself as good of a chance to find the pitch you like.
2-2. Right side, it'll get at a play for a foul ball. The 2-2 once more from Will Heyman. Check swing, fouls it off, and so we'll do it again for the 3rd time.
He barely got a piece of that one, so he just keeps it going and keeps it going. And for Heyman, this inning just keeps extending and extending more than you want to. You want to get those bats up as quickly as you can, but the Matrix have done a good job of at least extending the time between the Mammoths at-bats.
Ball in the dirt. The count now full at 3-2, so that'll release Lou Spadafora over at second base. He'll take off running with the pitch. The 3-2. ball 4. As Spatafora actually didn't take off with the pitch. Anyways, 3-2 the count. Or, excuse me, 2 on now, 2 outs, and that'll bring up Casey Chiola, the top of the lineup, as DeMaria has reached base safely in all 4 of his plate appearances. First pitch to Chiola breaks in for a called strike, and a great breaking ball that was.
We've seen early in the counts he's done a good job of getting in the zone, but lately the last couple at bats he's struggled to get that final strike.
And that one will find a gap as Spatafora is going to round third. The throw from Madalena slightly offline. Run will score as New Brunswick further extends their lead. It's now 11-9.
Great piece of hitting there. Sends it on the left side. Does his job. That's all you have to do, and it's a good job from Spatafora. Gets his way all the way around. Madalena gave it his best shot, but ball kind of stayed glued to the grass, which kind of lost a lot of its velocity on the way to get to Clark.
So now that'll bring up Joey Spinello, who's also been really challenging to get out. He's 3 for 4 on the day. Spinello, single, strikeout, single, double, and has scored runs on the 3 base hits that he's recorded as he swings through that one. Next pitch from Heyman, a ball. And so the count is 1-2. With 2 outs. 1 strike away from putting an end to the inning. That one's upstairs. Heyman just can't seem to find that final strike that he needs.
He's just so close to it. He's not getting the chase that he needs. When he did, they were able to foul it off. And he just has to find that pitch that the Matrix aren't going to get to, but can still be close to the zone.
I think he's just got to throw a strike. He's trying too hard to miss and get him to the chase that at this point you just got to throw a strike. You just got to challenge. It's not even just challenging. It's having the confidence within yourself that you're going to get this guy out. The 3-2. Upstairs, ball 4. And so now the bases are loaded for Julius Rosado, who's 2 for 4, and last time up, put one over A.J. Madalena's head for a home run.
And this is kind of the punishment you get for kind of playing around, trying to work around and be too careful. He's tried to work around the outside parts of the zone, and that control got away from him. So where he got to those 2 strikes, not really caring about touching around and being as careful, he got into those 2-strike counts where you don't want to lose the at-bat, and he ended up losing it because he was overly trying to do it, and he's allowed 2 guys on in that situation. The bases have turned themselves to loaded where the Matrix can try and break it open with a guy that, as we talked about, just had a big swing his last time up.
One and one is the count. With 2 away, still here in the top of the 7th. New Brunswick leads Mercer 11-9. This one's going to get fouled off down the right side out of play. And so the count is now 1-2. And once again, Will Heyman is 1 strike away from ending this inning. Hey, look, kids, Big Ben, Parliament. Strike 3, got him looking, and that'll finally put an end to the inning. 1 run on 2 hits and no errors. As we head to the bottom of the 7th and last licks here in the first of the 2 doubleheader games on Jersey Baseball Nation. Last licks and a final opportunity here for the Mercer Mammoths as they trail the New Brunswick Matrix 11-9 in the bottom of the 7th. It'll be Adam Clark, the 9-hitter, and then Ray Mulhern and A.J. Madalena. As this one's going to get looped into right center field, it'll be down for a base hit and it will be trouble. Rounding first, heading to second is Clark. He's in there standing with a double.
That was risky to not slide into second there because it wasn't like it rolled all the way towards the warning track or the wall. It was a fair distance for Joey Spinello to try and get him at second, and it was a good throw, just was not corralled. I think Clark would have gotten there safely either way, but still, you would have preferred that he slid into second. However, either way, that's a leadoff base runner in scoring position and a great start of hard contact off of Perna, setting yourselves up well to try and get those runs back because you're down to your last 3 outs. You only got so much left.
So that'll bring up Ray Mulhern, who's 1 for 2. And that one a ball. Count 1-0. And Adam Clark wasted no time swinging at the very first pitch he saw and getting his first hit on the day, and is now 1 for 4 as Ray Mulhern 1 for 2. He walked, popped out, singled, walked. And that one will dunk in for a base hit. And it gets booted out in center field. And so, Adam Clark will come around to score. It'll be a single and an E8.
And that is huge that Spinello booted that because Clark had to wait for that one to get over Rosado's glove. Because there was a chance that Rosado could have jumped up and actually gotten that on the catch. So Clark had to wait. Eventually he sees it gets down, so he goes to third. And originally he was being held. Before Spinello booted it, allowed Clark to score, but also allows Ray Mulhern to get in scoring position. That's the tying run out there. It's a big difference from being on first versus being on second.
Now will step A.J. Madalena. He walked his last time up. It was his first walk of the season. And now he's going to square around to bunt. And he's going to push it a little bit, got on top of it, and fouled it off. And so now the count is 0-1, and his element of surprise is lost as the corners will come in. Still another chance, though, only 1 strike against. Still the opportunity, and I would absolutely, as he does square around, and the ball kicks away. And so Ray Mulhern will now advance to third on the wild pitch. And now a runner on third, a 1-1 count, and still a position if you want to lay down that bunt.
The Matrix are just getting in their way right now this inning. You have to have strong defense to close out a game, and always the last 3 outs are always the toughest outs you're going to find. But a couple of mistakes, whether it's the pitches and
that one gets away. Here comes Ray Mulhern. He'll be safe. And so just like that, this one is tied. A wild pitch, and Mulhern will come around to score. And we're all tied up at 11. And not only that, but the count is 2-1 now, and there's still nobody out.
And that's why that error in center matters so much, because 2 wild pitches, it puts Mulhern on third. But because he was on second, he comes around to score. And now this game is tied again. I mean, since I've gotten here, it's been back and forth in a really chaotic fashion.
As that one hard hit on the ground. A great job there by Rosado to trap it. He's been playing a real nice defensive shortstop. He'll make the throw over to first to record the first out of the inning finally.
And that was a tough play because of the spin on that ball, the way it was coming towards him at short, and it stayed low. He adjusted his glove over, made the nice snag, and tossed it over to first. Just a really great play overall from Rosado. After we were talking about the Matrix defense not being strong there,
Rosado's been a good defensive shortstop all day today. That's the first pitch is a ball there to Chase Bonner, who's 2 for 4. Next pitch, also a ball. The count 2-0 to Bonner.
and last time we thought he had the big swing that would change the game because he broke everyone from the base pass off a 3-run double that he had there. And instead, we're in a completely different situation.
A whole new ball game, a whole new world. we are living in.
Just gotta look around
Countless-
and make sure there's no carpet to take me in the sky.
Or would you want that magic carpet ride?
That would be an interesting view of the field.
Call it strike. It'd be something. Would you be watching this game or would you just sail away and go explore the world? To be fair, if I had a magic carpet, that hit him in the box, but nobody's going to call it. He's going to take off running and he's going to be out. It absolutely hit Chase Bonner in the box and nobody saw it but me. I am the only one in this field that saw that and I am baffled. Did you see it? It hit him in the box. PA announcer Jeff here saw it. Thank you, Jeff. At least I'm not a crazy man. But it is going to go down as a 1-3 ground out. But even Chase Bonner didn't say that it hit him in the box. He took off running as if it didn't. There's now 2 outs in the inning. As Jack Hughes will come to bat, and the first pitch he sees called strike. And Jack Hughes, he's 0 for 2. He grounded out 5-3. Hit by a pitch, and grounded into a fielder's choice. And that's what's gotten us to the situation. He is, in all matters of the word, due. And the wind blowing out to left center field. Seen the ball travel well as he way out in front of that one. And the count now 1-2 as Colin Perna tries to get the Matrix into extra innings.
That was a great pitch for Hughes to try and get, but he mixed up the speeds, and that's what caught Hughes off guard.
He's going to pop this one up. Spatafora's got a read on it, but it's going to get out of play. I was waiting for it to dunk off our press box, but it just didn't hit us.
There was no thud.
There was no thud. I was waiting for the thud, and there was no thud.
So anticlimactic.
Very anticlimactic. I feel unresolved now. It's kind of like you're playing a game of tic-tac-toe and someone just erases the game right before you win.
Right before you're about to win, and then
you're about to knock on the door and somebody opens it up.
You're about to win Jenga, and then they just knock everything down.
They just knock it down. It's not even their turn. It's your turn. And someone else just chooses to kick it over. It's just like unresolved. Now I want him to foul it off so it hits off the building so I can get that dunk. Anyways, that thud. 2-2, 2 outs to number 25, Jack Hughes. Not the gold medal winner, but has a chance to win it here for the Mammoths. Can he do it? Takes that as it skips away and the count goes full. 3-2, 2 outs. As I get a nice refreshing sip of my water to rejuvenate my vocal cords as I prepare for what could be either the game ender, the game continuer, or the game continuer. 3-2, 2 outs. Swung on a miss, strike 3. And so we head to extras. We'll go to the top of the 8th when we return here on Jersey Baseball Nation. Up steps Colin Perna, the pitcher. As taken over on the mound, it's Kershaw Jr., Giovanni Allahan. Not because of his skill, although he is a mighty good pitcher. It's because of his windup. The good old up and down pacing that he's got. Mimicking Clayton Kershaw. The first pitch in there for a strike to Perna, who is 1 for 4 on the day. Found that one off, and now 0-2. It'll be Perna. And then it'll be Inzilla and Wisniewski. As that ball gets away, and the count 1-2. The 1-2. As Hallahan deals. Fouled off. Hopefully doesn't hit a car. It didn't.
Once again, anticlimactic, but this time it's good because nobody's car gets
This is not anticlimactic. We did not want to hear a crash.
Well,
there.
no, I'm not saying anticlimactic that I wanted it to happen.
I did
I'm
not
saying
want to hear a crash. That was not anticlimactic because I was hoping and praying and not anticipating for the crash. If anything, I was anticipating the sound of the ball hitting the concrete, which isn't loud enough to hear up here in the press box. So, happily, no noise. As the next pitch is in the dirt, and the count's 2-2. To Colin Perna. Colin Perna, number 21, a two-way guy. DHs, and when he's not DHing, he's pitching. As talk about pitchers, it's A.J. Madalena out in left field practicing his mechanics.
you always got to get the practice in.
Talk about guys who used to practice. How about Paul O'Neill? He used to work on his swing out in right field. As that one's a slow roller over to third. Firing it is Brandon Law, and Hughes can't make the pick. The throw wasn't going to be in time anyways. It'll be a base hit as Perna did a great job with his speed. He would have beaten it out anyways. But Perna's on base. Leadoff single. And that'll bring up Dom Inzilla.
It's exactly what they wanted to get going. And wouldn't it be pretty crazy if Inzilla comes through, a guy that we've talked about that has struggled here at Moody? We talk about due all the time within a game, but I think across the season, I think this guy's due to come through here specifically at Moody Park.
You want to know what'd be cool? Is if we find out that he's Dominican and we can call him Dominican Dom.
Now, it would be unfortunate. It would be off our good pal in Hallahan. We do appreciate.
We do appreciate Hallahan, but moving on, I'm interested to know his nationality. Because if he's Dominican, he's Dominican Dom. No?
I mean, I
It's
guess.
a catchy nickname.
I guess.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me and I like the
Alliteration.
Yeah. As that one. Strike. So, ball and a strike. Ball and a strike, ball and a strike. What's next? A ball or a strike? 1-1 count to Dom Inzilla. As Hallahan comes set. Kicks and deals. This one's going to get down in right field right in front of Zanichi Steve and back-to-back singles.
It's getting more interesting than Hallahan was hoping for. He's gotten a lot of work for the Mammoths. 11 games, a 2-0 record with 5 saves. He's come through on every save opportunity. Now, this was not a save opportunity.
This is a
even.
win opportunity.
But 11 innings.
If he gets the hold, but now he's got a real tricky situation with C.J. Wisniewski up to bat, nobody out, and runners on first and second.
And it's one of those kind of dynamics sometimes for someone that is like a closer now. Not enough games for really to build up as like a true closer stat lines. But, I mean, he has 5 saves, so he's been used to being that high leverage guy. And you get put in a situation where it kind of feels a bit weird. It is extra innings, but sometimes, like mentally, you look at the inning and it doesn't feel like that same stakes when you come in. And so far, the Matrix have jumped on him early in this outing, and Hallahan's going to have to work through some trouble.
Called a strike in the count, even at ones. 1-1. And this one's going to get lifted out into center field. Ray Mulhern's got a read on it. Waiting is Perna. He's going to fake the tag. That's a great throw there from Ray Mulhern. Comes in and holds up the runners. And so an out is recorded for Giovanni Hallahan. He's got one away, but still two runners on base.
And it was just a really, even though it doesn't end up mattering in the grand scheme of it, still Mulhern, a very accurate throw to the cutoff man. As good of a throw as you can see.
That ball kicks away, and now the runners will get to advance. There goes the potential double play ball. It was a pass ball and a little lapse of judgment and concentration from Adam Clarkus. Lou Spadafora steps back into the box, 1 for 3. Came around and scored what I had thought was the insurance run of the potential additional run for the Matrix. Turned out to be the run that they needed to stay alive in this one, as he's now got a chance to drive in the leading runs. So that one's going to be called a strike, and the count is 1-1.
Now, I didn't think they would employ it, but it always got me curious if they would ever consider an intentional walk. Now, obviously, we're seeing they're not going for it, and I don't blame them for not going for it, but that's certainly a consideration that at least touched their mind.
That one is going to dunk in. A misread there by Chase Bonner, as that ball just seemed to hang up a lot longer than he thought it would. It dunks in for a single. And so now 2 on. Still only 1 out, and New Brunswick lead it. They take the lead back. It's 12-11.
And Bonner was in a kind of interesting situation because he was trying to manage not running through the runner and getting around to the ball that pretty much Bonner was on the close side, and then the runner
think it was the runner. I think it was simply that ball hung up a lot longer, because if he runs into the runner trying to make that play, the runner's out because it's interference.
Well, yes, but I'm saying, like, in his mind, mentally, I think that played a part that he didn't want to run into him. Now, sure, if he did, it would have been interference, but I don't think Bonner had that necessarily in his thought process, and it ended up kind of being too much to think at one moment.
That one gets fouled off, and the count's now 1-2 with 1 out, and New Brunswick got a run in. They found a way to get to Giovanni Hallahan.
Knocked off the mask of home plate umpire, so he's going to take a breather. And Coach Rich Carabelli out there busting some chops with him. But all seems well here. He's ready to get back going. We have the field ump also getting back in his spot. So that's good to see, and we'll get back going.
One, two in the dirt. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And so the second out is recorded, and now with 1 out to go is Giovanni Hallahan, but he's got to face the infamous Zach DeMario. 2 for 2 on the day. He walked. He singled. He singled. He walked. 4 plate appearances. He's gone on base safely all 4 times. And Giovanni Hallahan looks to prove different and break the pattern, break the streak, and be the man to get him out. First pitch is a ball, though.
He had a really good strikeout pitch. He got that to break in on the hands of the batter, and really there was nothing he could do with it, and got the strikeout. But DeMario's not an easy out today.
Absolutely not. But the next pitch in there for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. The 1-1 called strike. 1-2. And I think that might have been the fastest called strike I've ever seen.
And it was a good flip from Clark. It was all very fast. Clark got it, flipped it to the zone, and then a quick called strike call.
The 1-2. Outside, 2-2. 2-2, 2 outs, 2 on. And the Matrix lead the Mercer Mammoths 12-11. I wanted to say 2-2, 2-2-2, but it just wasn't there. Anyways, this one fouled off. So the count remained at 2s. Lots of 1s and 2s. That one's going to get away. Advancing to third. Inzilla advancing to second. Spatafora. And so the count is now full. 3-2, 2 outs, and runners on second and third for the hardest batter to get out today in this Matrix lineup.
And late in this game, we're seeing a lot more wild pitches. We saw Perna have some problems with that helped the Mammoths get into this, or get the Matrix, or yes, get the Mammoths back into it. I got my mind thinking 2 steps ahead of myself. And then now it's helping the Matrix, and that's how they've taken this lead.
This one on the ground. It's trouble, and it gets through. 1 run will score. Here comes Spatafora. He will score. New Brunswick now lead it by 3. It's 14-11.
Have a day. He's just been stellar, doing exactly what he needs to do. And once again, he comes through. He knocks another single on the day, and that's 2 RBIs and extends that lead, which we've seen how crucial having those insurance runs is in a game where there's been a 6-4, 3, 1, 3 in the last couple innings.
Chopper. Giovanni's able to grab and get over to first to end the inning, but not before. New Brunswick gets 3 runs on 4 hits. They lead at 14-11. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. And once again, Mercer's backs are up against the wall as they look to find a way to keep this one going or win it when we return here on Jersey Baseball Nation. Leading off for the Mammoth, it's the second baseman, Q Williams. It'll be Q Williams, followed by Brandon Law and Buzz Gresh, the minimum three, who look to keep Mercer in this one. They trail by 3, 14-11. As now on the mound, it's CJ Wisniewski as he swaps with Colin Perna. First pitch strike. Next one outside for a ball on the count 1-1. In the dirt, 2-1. To Q Williams, who's 0 for 3 on the day. Walked his first at bat, then grounded out, and struck out. Looking. That one almost hits him. The count 3-1. So according to these track records, I guess he's gonna walk here? Either that or ground out. He's yet to get the ball out of the infield. The 3-1. Called strike.
Has he been using Mulhern's helmet this whole time?
I think
Or
so.
Because I know I came in late, so I wasn't sure if he had it from the beginning.
I think he has been using Ray Mulhern's helmet this entire game. Slow roller, third base side. It'll get foul and stay foul. And the count's still 3-2.
I just keep looking at that 5 fun, and I think of Casey Kane. Good old NASCAR driver.
In the dirt, ball 4. And so Q Williams works a walk and gets a leadoff runner on. And the Mercer Mammoths, in almost every inning this game, have gotten their first 2 batters on base safely. They did it in 3 consecutive innings in the first, second, and third. They did it again in the 5th, in the 6th, in the 7th, I believe. Or not in the 5th. But they did it in the first, second, and third. They did do it in the 5th, and then they did it again in the 7th. As that one gets away, and Q Williams will advance on the wild pitch.
And that was a good job from him on the base pass because he threw off Wisniewski on the mound. He messed with the timing on the throw and then ends up being a wild pitch. And instead of having to try and steal where he was never taken off on that one, he gets second anyways on the wild pitch.
1-0 is the count to Brandon Law, excuse me. He was 2 for 4. Swings through that one. Law singled last time up, struck out looking, singled, and grounded out in reverse order of when it happened. And the count is 1-1. Takes strike looking, and the count's now 1-2. 1-2 with 1 on and nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th. An extra innings with New Brunswick leading at 14-11. And Law will foul this one off and stay alive. Next one in there, strike 3 looking. And so now that's 1 away, and it'll bring up Buzz Gresh.
And that's just one of those 2-strike pitches that you might be looking for something else and just floats into the zone. And unfortunately, that's not really what you want to do in a situation where you're down to your last 3 outs. To go down looking, you always want to at least get a swing off, but a good pitch from Wisniewski, and he gets the first out and really helps himself to not keep that trend going that you were talking about where the Mammoths have gotten 2 guys on to start innings. This time it's just the one.
One knows the count to Buzz Gresh, who's reached base safely quite a lot today. Gresh, a single in his first at bat, then walk, and then grounded into a double play. Series 1 for 2 as we've now crossed into the 3-hour mark of this game. The 1-0 count to Gresh. Called strike. The count 1-1. And Gresh rocking that bomb bat, which, again, surprised it is legal, as I believe it is reported to have said there's a metal rod in the middle of it, which helps attribute to its durability. Now, whether or not this model of the bomb bat has that metal rod is yet to be revealed, but I believe that is the staple and adds to why the bomb bat is so durable. It's because it's got a metal rod in it. The 1-2 to Gresh. In the dirt, great job there by Spadafora to keep it in front of him. The count 2-2.
We've seen how crucial getting that extra 90 feet can be in these games, so that is a great stop from Spadafora to limit any momentum the Mammoths could build.
In the dirt again, and the count runs itself full. 3-2, 1 out, 1 on. That's Q Williams over on second base. He's hanging around there. He walked and then advanced on the wild pitch. Brennan Law struck out looking. That's the 1 out. And now it's Buzz Gresh up at the plate with a full count. As Mercer trails New Brunswick 14-11 here in the 8th inning. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And so now Mercer's down to their final out, and it's Zinichi Steve.
Number 7, right fielder, Zinichi.
Just a really good pitch from Wisniewski, and just overall a good job from the battery. Spadafora had back-to-back times he stopped the balls, kept Q Williams at second, and then allows his pitcher to stay comfortable, not have any distracting factors, and he's able to attack Gresh and get the swing and a miss.
First pitch of ball to Zinichi Steve, who's 1 for 3 on the day. But none of that matters, as in right now he's got to come up with a base hit or a walk or reach base safely somehow. As that one's in the dirt, it kicks away, and Q Williams will take advantage of the passed ball. As the count's now 2-0.
And again, it was some quick stutter motion from Q Williams. It throws the pitcher off guard once again, and that's what gets him another base. So he's done a good job of forcing mistakes. It's just the Mammoths are going to have to put together some base hits or some walks or find ways on base. They want to get back those 3 runs with 2 down.
Steve's going to foul that one off, and the count now 2-1.
Well, I can figure because
2-1. 2-1, 2 outs. As Q Williams is now over on third. And the 2-1 to Zinichi Steve. This one's looped into left center field on his horse. Can he get there? No, he cannot. Does Joey Spinella? Zinichi Steve coasts in the second with an RBI double. And Mercer's got life. We know what they can do with 2 outs, but can they keep it going? As it'll now be up to Adam Clark to keep things alive for Mercer.
And that ball was crushed into that center field, left center area, and it just kept tailing away and away and away from Spinello, and eventually ended up dropping Steve some good speed and a little bit of a energy builder there for Steve to try and get a rally going.
That's the wood bat effect, though. That's how the ball comes off of a wood bat. Off a lefty bat, it's going to tail to left field. Off a righty bat, it typically is known to tail to right field, unless there's crazy drastic wind. That ball's not going to go back in the other direction, and so that's the wood bat working in favor of Zinichi Steve. That one's in the dirt, and the count is now 2-0. Although you could say with a metal bat, maybe he puts that over the fence.
I would say certainly.
One could argue, but the wood bat definitely played into Steve's favor, as he's now hanging around over on second base, and Adam Clark's in a favorable count, ahead 2-0 against C.J. Wisniewski. 2-0 from Wisniewski. In the dirt, 3-0, and boy, has Spadafora done a great job behind the dish. He's really had to work and fight and battle to keep as many pitches as he can and as many pitches as he has in front of him. It's the 3-0. In the dirt, ball 4. And so now runners on first and second as Spadafora will walk out to the mound, and that'll bring up the top of the lineup in Ray Mulhern. And a good thing Q Williams came around to score, because Mulhern needed his helmet back.
Yeah. I wonder what they would have done, whose helmet they would have sent out there if it ended up being the case where both of them were on. But they don't have to deal with that.
That's a good question. Whose helmet would... Let's try and guess. Whose helmet would end up on the head of Q Williams? My guess would be Chase Bonner would send his helmet out there.
I don't know, though, because Bonner hits lefty, and Clark hit righty there. So I don't know if you would want the flap on the wrong side. Whether that would matter or not, I don't think it would, but...
Does Bonner have a flap?
Well, I'd figure it probably has, like, the regular front side flap.
Okay.
Because, like, Clark's has his flap, Steve has the flap.
Well, yeah, that's like the new norm, but I don't think Mulhern has a flap. I don't think Mulhern has his flap. As that one, a line drive snagged out of midair. And that'll put an end to what could have been, if not for the great defensive play. Line drive snagged out of midair by Wisniewski, and that will end this one. Ball game over. New Brunswick wins it 14-12. And that will be all she wrote in Game 1 as we head to Game 2. And stay tuned for that one here on Jersey Baseball Nation. Until then, I'm Max Raymond alongside Joshua Uwan saying so long, and we'll see you soon with Game 2 action when we return.